In Malaysia, there are over 66,000 prisoners serving their sentences. Prisoners are released upon serving their sentences every day. But due to the stereotypical mindsets towards ex-offenders, every sentence is a life sentence to them, despite having paid their debt to society. In 1982, Christmas night, Ang Siu Kong was chilling in a bar in Newtown, PJ, while he and his friends got into a quarrel with a stranger next table.
One bagger come and ask for help. 老細，幫下手啦！佢哋呢班好粗魯啊，我冇菜台啊。My friend said, no problem, sit down, we protect you.
The stranger approaches and threatens them.
And the man not positive, take out the gun, point my friend's head. I'm very angry, you know. I pitch up the ankle porter, I just behind and got chop. They fall down.
The man dies on the scene, as Ang Siu Kong was charged under Section 302 of the Penal Code for attempting murder. However, the verdict was soon changed to Section 304A of the Penal Code, which is caused death by negligence. This means there is no death sentence for him. However, he had to serve his sentence 20 years in prison.
So on the January of the 83, I mean the first time I entered the penjara
Pudu Prison was the oldest prison in Malaysia, established way back in 1895 by the British colonial government. It was formally closed in 1996 after serving as a prison for 101 years.
When they built it, there is no modern day amenities or facilities like running water in your cell or a flush toilet system, proper ventilation, poor lighting. So when I was remanded, I went through hell in that sense.
Inside the prison, basic human rights and respects are non-existent.
You know, berak just small tung. For us, makan there, berak there, kencing there.
There is no privacy where you can have your own toilet facility, but it is just one row, and there will be heaps and heaps of human waste.
You think I got shower? No shower one.
We have to take our shower right in the open air. Each the time we're given 10 scoops of water.
1, 1, 2, 3, sabun. And sabun 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bath, that's all. Finish.
Due to the low price of salt, the daily diet in prison is also inhumane.
The food is very out of, I don't know, determined. If the dog see the food itself, the dog cannot eat.
Have you seen the tray we eat?
See this? You see this?
Because of the salt intake, most of us will develop scabies.
Every day makan what? Saltfish, hàm鱼啊.餐hàm鱼啊. Then we talk, hàm鱼tong char siu lah. Everyone talk hàm鱼tong char siu to eat lah, you know.
And because of the environment in our room, there is no proper ventilation, you know, human sweat, 13 of us, the environment will cause us to have skin diseases. That really affected my self-worth.
According to the Human Rights Report 2018, the condition of the prisons and detention centers operated by the government's immigration department were harsh. During 2017, the Human Rights Commission of Malaysia, Suhakam, referred to the condition as cruel, inhumane, and degrading.
我就问警官，我说：“怎么有时坐在监狱里面囚犯人的厕所都不是很清洁，让小小的马桶。”他说：“如果很清洁的话，这样每个人不是喜欢进来呢？一定要有一些让他们反省，在外面的生活一定好过里面的。”
If you're talking about you wanted to teach them a lesson, does it have to be that condition? But the thing is it stopping? Is the number reducing? It's not. So hence, that's why if you're repeating something which is not working, why don't you look at how we can rehabilitate them rather than giving them this kind of harsh environment to live in.
The crime committed and the imprisonment changed Ong Siu Kong's life gradually. It took 3 years for his charges to be changed. He was depressed and he decided to find some ways in prison to pass his time.
So I start to smoke drug. I run to think. This time my white hair start already. I think I'm only 34 years old. I worry too much. I think too much. I forced my wife to divorce with me. I said, you must divorce with me. If not, I commit suicide. I said.
Serving sentences is a very long process. It doesn't just take away your freedom, it also takes away your hope in your future.
Then I start to do the bad thing in the prison. Fighting, schooling, smoke. Any drug I try. Because I never think that I can alive already.
The process of serving sentence is long and depressing. However, there are more problems to come while a prisoner's release approaches.
It was not easy for me that the unknown future out there when my release is almost round the corner. You have a petition of divorce. You do not know whether you'll be able to gain employment, and you really do not know what's the reality beyond the four walls out there.
Not all convicts seems to be prepared to face life after their imprisonment.
On one thing, you have the little joy of freedom. But freedom out in the real world where realities of life is still facing you.
In order to step back into society, being employed is one of the necessary steps to be done. For Ong Siu Kong and Daniel, things didn't go well.
I tell them I need a job. But when they hear that, oh, you've been in prison before. Oh, you're a murderer. They're scared already. Good job I cannot get. 30 job I get. Become papa ayam, become hotel, become jaga perempuan, bring place.
So when I went to a competitor's office, I asked whether there's any vacancy, So I fill up the employment application form, and there's always one question: have you been convicted of a previous offense? And I don't want to lie, because I already paid back society.
Oftentimes my clients are put in this dilemma: do I tell the truth or do I not? Here on one hand, when they go through program, we tell them to always speak the truth regardless of how nice or how ugly it may sound to be.
So I put yes. And then the manager or whoever tells me that, sorry Mr. Liu, it is against our company's policy to employ someone with a previous conviction.
They fill up, they're not going to get a job. They don't fill up, it's actually a lie, which is also not good, which is what we don't want them to do. But the thing is, they are in dilemma in regards to that. So the form itself is already discriminating. From what I'm seeing, that those forms are actually just to filter out, who actually comes from a crime background. Then perhaps, I don't know, slightly, I think they won't be given a chance lah.
For me, who have some education, for me who has working experiences, it's so hard to gain employment. Likewise, what about all the rest of the ex-offenders who desire a second chance, but yet because of society's perception, they will just put a stopper?
We asked a few companies if they are willing to hire ex-offenders, and here's what they replied.
我就唔好意思啦，公司嘅 policy 係唔請有案底嘅人嘅。做過了，我們不會請我 ，sorry 啊。咁樣呢個係公司嘅政策嚟嘅，就冇辦法幫你解釋咩原因啦，係 just 喺公司嘅立場。因為這個是我們的 company 的 policy 啦，不好意思啊。
Ex-offenders faces difficulties in engaging themselves back into the white-collar community. So how will the situation be like when they try to enroll into the blue-collar community?
最抵唔好唔請，因為我哋有時做嘅嘢又去人哋屋企喎，驚佢偷人哋嘅嘢偷咗嘢佢走咗，我哋就死火咯。
通常几率比较高是不会请，因为怎样讲都有自己的底在啦。
也是不会要请。等下发了你再拿东西，这样子找没就死了，不会怕的，安全。
Say if very commonly in the F&B business, if you are doing the front portion, which is say waitering or being the cashier, if this person has been into some sort of crime that's related to theft, then oftentimes it's the employers that don't want to hire those.
We do work together with a lot of companies, those who are actually willing to provide that opportunity to ex-offenders. But however, sad to say, a lot of those companies they don't open up lah.
Yeah, but we're helping them see the bigger picture, that these guys have already served their time. They've already been punished for what they've done wrong, and they've already come out from prison. You see, there's no longer a need to punish them any further by having such discrimination.
Student who was in prison came to my class for about 3 months, finished the class, he left, he was released. 2 days he came back, and then he saw me in prison again. Then he doesn't want to see me. Dia kata malu lah cikgu.
I do strongly believe that the lack of chance or the lack of opportunity given to them could be a huge contributing factor. Yeah. Oftentimes it's society that says, why don't you change? But at the same time, it's also society that don't give them the chance to change.
Well, he did tell me he wanted to change, but then he doesn't know how to change. He went out, no money, got wife and children, and then he said, I got no money, I kept having this pressure from my family. So what I do, my friend at one side just came to me and said, come, let's go and do a project. Straight away he came in.
Yeah, and that's a very common frustration that you see amongst most of the inmates when I go in and ask them. Some of them honestly rather be in there, because in there I hardly get rejected. You see, people around me are like me.
People would label them as sampah masyarakat, people who are actually useless. Well, people have very negative thoughts about who they are, but not looking at what they want to achieve in life, but looking at what they have done. So with that, then people would actually close the doors. It is very hard for a person to get that opportunity once that perspective is locked in. Out of 10% that we ask in a prison, what do you want to be when you're released from prison? It's always come back to the one same answer. Saya nak bertukar. I would like to change. Let's not judge a book by the cover, but let's go deeper into the person's life by journeying with them, regardless of what they have done in the past. It is only right that we look at one another as a human being first, rather than judging whatever the background is.
In order to change the situation, society needs to take the first step. Employers should open up and give chances to ex-offenders to prove themselves, rather than allowing the employment system to discriminate their status and destroy their faith. This can also help prevent ex-offenders from going back to their old ways and fall further down to the bottom of society. The first step to change is to change the way we think, so that ex-offenders could have a chance to start their life over again.